proper a scenario here. This is like a scary scenario. Sunday, Chelsea. United win. Okay. United win again.
Against Arsenal.
And again. And it's Carrick in charge. What chance do you see of history repeating itself? Because of the Glazers saying that, okay, we're going to have to put out money to hire a guy and so forth. But wait a minute. This guy, okay, he's English. He knows this club. We're winning games. It's not costing us any money. Is there any scenario if United continue to win under Carrick? Because see, my thing about Carrick is this, is that I give him a weird kind of credit for the Villarreal game. Because I think what they did in Villarreal is sort of obvious, which is that if a team is low on morale, go defensive. Just go defensive, defend and so forth. But you're facing a team who are missing Moreno, their main striker, who are mid-table, have only won 3 La Liga games. which they've only won. I think they've drawn like 7 and they've only won 3 games, and it shows. So you didn't really come across the most potent attack.
No.
You know. So, but is there a scenario if United keep winning under Carrick that the Glazers and Woodward are like, okay, just without anyone knowing, boom, boom, keep the job?
Well, if he was to beat Chelsea and then beat Arsenal,
be honest,
and we're playing good football.
Yeah, you're playing well. You're playing well. It's deserved victories. Everything.
There's a strong possibility that he gets a job to the end of this season. I can't see them giving him the permanent job before the end of the year. Now, come the end of the season, similar to like a Di Matteo, if he does the unthinkable and wins a major trophy, the Champions League, or something like that, gets top 3, not 4th, it gets top 3, wins the FA Cup, gets to a Champions League final. I would not put it past his board to give him the job permanently. And that's because, again, who is making the decisions? Footballing people you can look at the results and you say, okay, these results weren't a fluke, it wasn't a new manager bounce, it's not something that's unsustainable. The way that much you're looking at the coaching and the way the players are playing, and maybe you talk to some of the senior players and they say, no, this is how we've been training under Solskjaer when it was here, because obviously it was the coaches taking the sessions, but Solskjaer was not allowing us to play like that come match day. Now we're actually seeing the results of how we're being coached and how we're seeing it. If all that happens over the course of the season and you win, I could see them giving the job permanently. I think that would be the wrong decision. It would be the wrong decision because, again, you're deviating away from your plan.
Yeah.
And if those managers are available, we're talking Ten Hag, and they might be in a job, but just pay to get them out of the job. If Poch is the guy that you want, as much as whether I think he's not good enough or someone, if you truly believe he is the guy to take us forward, then say thank you, Michael Carrick, and move on. Because even with Di Matteo, he won the Champions League and the FA Cup. And Abramovich was forced to give him the job, pretty much. I don't know if you remember when they won the Champions League and he walking up the steps and he kind of said to Abramovich, is like, I told you. And Abramovich was forced to do it. Di Matteo was pretty much a Chelsea legend, all that kind of stuff. And then in about 3 months into the season, it all went tits up. Because ultimately, he wasn't the right guy.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the right guy.
He was riding a wave.
And also, and my thing is that I always say that every Champions League win has been, you've had to have a quality team. 2012 was divine intervention. That was divine. Like, that's what, like, Chelsea, they deserved it and so forth, and I probably, but that was divine intervention.
You started Ryan Bertrand at left wing.
Bro, like, it didn't make sense how Chelsea beat that Barca side with that Messi and that Bayern Munich side in Bayern Munich. So, see, this is what I say to guys, that management, and this is what people don't understand, management is a skill. And I think what a lot of people missed with Solskjaer is they felt, knowing the club and being legend of the club, it doesn't mean anything. Like, you being a quality player or amazing as a player has nothing to do with being a manager. Lampard, amazing player. One of the Chelsea's best ever players, one of the best goal scoring midfielders ever. Yeah. Management clearly isn't your thing. And
not at that level.
Not at that level. No. And because I think, and Chelsea fans just couldn't sort of understand that. No. this doesn't take anything away from him as a player. Management and playing means nothing. I can only name 2 guys who are amazing players who became amazing managers, which is Zidane and Cruyff.
Okay.
That's it. Most amazing players don't really make amazing managers or legendary players. It just doesn't happen. So my thing is with
Maradona.
Well, that was painful, but that was painful. That 4-0 against Germany was painful. But my thing though is that that's why, because here's the thing why it's tricky. You realize that there's never been an English manager who's won the Premier League.
It's crazy.
That is insane.
It's crazy.
I said, yeah, they've no. So I do think that, and I remember Lampard said one thing about how he feels like he's sort of like a flag bearer for English coaches and English managers to come in. And I do think that in England, it may not be public, but there is a feeling of, can we try and get more English managers, English coaches, and so forth. So I do feel like there are some people who want Carrick to get this job for sure.
Well, if he does go on that run, you'll definitely see the calls for it. You'll definitely
100%.
see it. But we have to learn from the Solskjaer one. And imagine you do that. That's back to back. Solskjaer interim giving the job at Carrick's not even interim. Carrick's caretaker.
Yeah.
He's packing the chairs and moving the table. He's the caretaker.
No, but I think the key thing is that you look at Man City and Man United. For Man City, they knew that the most important purchase is Pep.
Yeah.
Because we're now living in a world where, like, back in the 90s, it was about the star. So just give me Rivaldo, give me Ronaldinho, we can win this because they can do something. The game has changed now. Yeah. It's way more tactical now. So because it is so much tactical, the most important purchase is the manager. Liverpool star guy, it's Klopp. City star guy is Pep.
Yeah.
Bayern Munich star guy last few seasons was Flick. Yeah. So
and Chelsea's is Tuchel.
Of course it's Tuchel. Tuchel is Chelsea's star player. Yeah. He's a star man. So for United, that's why it is so imperative to get the right manager. Because for me, Van Gaal it's like, I know he's got experience, but is he the right guy for the way the game is now?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Time moved on.
Yeah, because the game from the 90s and early 2000s, not like how the game is now. The only right guy was Mourinho was the right man. Because he was still that guy and so forth. And I think with Mourinho's like, he still won trophies.
Yeah.
He still won trophies, but the issue was... So what do you think the issue was with Mourinho ultimately?
I think, for me, it's interpersonal relationships.
So it wasn't nothing to do with him as a manager and him being able to get results out of the team?
No, he wasn't able to get the results out of the team because of interpersonal relationships. Some with certain players and also with the board. In that summer, when we finished second, lost the FA Cup final to you lot. But we were 18 points behind City. And I would say that summer, you either back Jose Mourinho now or you sack him. Because if you don't back him, from the way that he's talking in the press conferences when we were on not international duty, what's it called, pre-season tours, etc., you see that there's some issues in terms of what he wants and what the board are giving him. So you know that this thing's about to blow up. It's gonna completely capitulate if you don't back him, both in terms of buying players and selling players. If there's players like Pogba, like Martial, who he wants to sell and he wants to buy others, if you don't want to sell those players, then you have to get rid of the manager because it's not going to work. It's all going to blow up. Or you get rid of those players because you back the manager, give him the players he wants, and then now it's up to him to deliver. They sat in between this little, all right, we'll back the manager, this partly, but we'll keep the players as well. Yeah. And it all came to a head. You saw how him and Pogba, the relationship on the training ground, all of that kind of dropped for the last few games of his managerial career. For me, Jose was... And for me, I never bought into this Jose was finished. Yeah, he maybe wasn't the same guy after the sackings, but I actually wanted him when we got Moyes. I think he would have been perfect for Man United at that time because...
Wait, what was Mourinho? Was he about to go to Real Madrid or was he out of a job?
No, this is 2013, 14. He joined Chelsea. Yeah, he had left Real Madrid. That's when he joined Chelsea.
Okay, yeah.
Because that was the season where Demba Ba scored at Anfield. Yeah.
But then the issue is, so that's it. So
he wanted Man United.
No. But then let's just be real now. How much blame should be put on Fergie?
Fergie,
Because Fergie's-
and Bobby Charlton. It was Bobby Charlton. They didn't want Jose Mourinho. They stated that they didn't think he was the right fit for Manchester United, and
Fergie earmarked and picked Moyes.
Now, yeah, Fergie got it wrong. That's just a fact.
Yeah,
Fergie got it wrong. Fergie's all-time great, but he's not perfect. He got it wrong. However, if you've got the right people in charge, you can right those wrongs very quickly. Every managerial appointment that Abramovich makes is not right. Scolari, he was out within 6 months or so. It doesn't mean that every choice, AVB, that was the wrong choice. Lampard, to an extent, the first season, cool, you got back in the top 4 or got into the top 4 with a transfer ban, but you can right those wrongs very quickly. And we haven't been right. We've actually been getting worse to an extent. Yeah, we bought better play. We've thrown a lot of money at it to fix the situation without actually kind of taking a step back and saying, what is the real issue? Yeah. Is the issue that we're not buying the right players, or is it that we don't have the right philosophy, the right people at in places such as the sports science, the recruitment, and all those kind of things? And I think for me, Jose was the right guy in 2013 because we had senior players, which he loves to work with. Yeah. All of them who were winners, obviously just under Fergie. And
also it's based on his profile and everything, it would have made a more sensible transition from Fergie to Mourinho.
I think he would have come in with his own personality and said, I'm just going to win. Whereas we tried to create Moyes as the new Fergie. And it was never going to happen.
What do you think was Fergie's logic of choosing a guy like Moyes, who all he had was Everton, as opposed to a guy who had been at Real Madrid, who had been at Inter Milan and so forth?
He probably looked at Moyes and thought, yeah, he can be the second coming of me. And he's wrong. Moyes will never be Fergie. And for me, it was pretty obvious because he hadn't even won a trophy. As good as Everton were and they were challenging for certain stuff, when it came to those crunch moments, those semi-finals, those finals, he couldn't win a trophy with Everton. Now, yes, we can say, it's Everton, but we said the same thing about Pochettino. He never won a trophy with Spurs. People say, yeah, but he was competing against this team, that team. But you had got the team to a point where it's like, we're challenging for trophies. Now prove that you can actually win it. You're joining Manchester United, you need winners. And I think we messed up by getting Jose as late as we did. And then ultimately we messed up again by backing him half-heartedly. If we knew that we wanted to get rid, make the decision. Get rid of him. Don't let the season drag out. And it's the same thing with Solskjaer. Solskjaer, the wheels started coming off pretty early this season. And we just dragged. Dragged. And just let him in the end hang himself by his own noose.
Do you know what I found so scary was after the Watford game, I was like, oh no, this is it, it's done. There were still United fans that said, saying that I think he's going to stay.
Because I wasn't 100% sure he'll be sacked because I just didn't trust the board to do it.
Which is crazy.
And I think partly it was Ed Woodward. Ed Woodward now has 4 managers sacked under him. He probably wanted, because he's supposed to be going in December. Yeah. He was like, I can't. If Solskjaer gets sacked under me, I am an utter and complete failure. For me, you're already a failure. Even if Solskjaer didn't get sacked under you. But he wanted it to work so badly because it was his choice. He decided to move away from like the Moyes one. He can say that's Fergie, that's not me. Yeah. But Van Gaal, Jose, and now Solskjaer all failed under you. That's on you when all is said and done. So he didn't want Solskjaer to be sacked under him. But
so who's making the decision now with the manager? Who are the guys tasked with it? Is he still involved in it? Is it a thing with him and the Glazers for the next manager now? Because if he's making the decision again, it's like, how do you trust that he's going to be able to make the right decision? Because see, this is not very key because here's the thing. That's where United messed up. They messed up. Conte was the man. And the reason why
I don't know, I hate change, man.
I'll tell you why Conte was the man. Cristiano. Cristiano is going to give you maybe 2 more years. Yeah. Max 3, but really 2 more quality years. Conte is a short-term guy. Yeah. Conte is a guy who he will argue with the board and he's going to fall out. So having him for 2 years with the prime thingy of maximizing Cristiano, have a pragmatic style that plays to his strengths, would have been the most sensible thing. And then in those 2 years, you're working on trying to get a Ten Hag or somebody who can now build for the next 6 years. But because the issue is this: if let's say you could get Ten Hag is like, I see how I explain. I have a very specific way of playing.
Yeah, I need to get those players.
And if you're saying that I have to start Cristiano, it messes up with how I want my team to function. And the thing with Cristiano is because I want to even get to Cristiano in a separate thing, but that's what every manager must now do now, because it's like when you're now coming in, you have to now come with your bullet points presentation of this is how I'm now going to incorporate Cristiano, so forth. If your bullet points does not come with Cristiano, thank you, but please leave us the freaking back door. So,
if you look at Conte, I agree. In terms of a short-term fix, he would have been the best and most ideal person to challenge the likes of Pep, Klopp, Tuchel in the next 18 months or so with Cristiano Ronaldo there. My issue is, at the end of those 2 years, where are we as a club? Who is even left? Like, is Sancho gone because he's not playing wing back? Is Martial gone? Is Rashford? No, Rashford probably still be there.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of players. Where does Greenwood fit into all of this? Like, he's going to change the formation, change the style of play. When he was successful with Inter, he brought in about 14 players.
Yeah.
Now, he's not going to definitely get 14 players at Manchester United. I'm not saying he needs 14 players at Man United. But at the hope of getting the best out of Cristiano Ronaldo and potentially winning, because it's just potential.
Yeah.
It's no guarantee. Where does it leave us as a club after and when it all ends after a couple of years? And that was my only thing when it came to Conte. I don't know how we will be as a club when he's done. If he could guarantee that we're going to win a Premier League in those 2 years, then maybe you take it, you bite the bullet and say, we'll fix it after. That was my only issue with the Conte one. But that's why I wanted Zidane, because I felt Zidane could do a similar job in terms of an instant impact without having to change too much, too many pieces and all that kind of stuff, and he can still get the best and play Cristiano Ronaldo.
Because I mean, so the thing with Zidane does it, because look, I would say you have to appreciate what he did for those 3 years, because I always say that once is an anomaly. Twice is, pretty good. 3 is now a pattern now. So if you're able to win a Champions League 3 times, a La Liga then, you came back and you won a La Liga, I think you know what you did. Especially if you won a La Liga without Cristiano. Yeah. So, but this is a different team. You don't have Modric, you don't have Ramos, you don't have Carvajal, you don't have Marcelo, who are very key with how you want it to operate. You don't have Benzema.
Roberto Carlos.
Okay, you've got Roberto, but my thing was that Zidane is anybody's better than Ole. 100%, anybody's better than Ole. But with Zidane, I don't know how successful it will be, because if you're to ask me, would Zidane success with United, I'm not sure.
I hear you.
I'm not sure.
And I think because he's only done it at Real Madrid with top class players.
And maybe that was just the right team at the right time.
And it may well have been. But I just feel the options that are out there, because like, who are we choosing? Zidane, Pochettino. Like, I'm taking Zidane all day long.
You can choose Pochettino.
But on top of that, Zidane, he had a great team. Well, name me all the teams that won the Champions League that weren't great. And do you then take away that credit away? I'm not saying you're doing it, but do you then take the credit away from the manager? You can't do that. Not only did he win those 3 cup competitions where you're playing, you got 2-legged ties against the best managers. So it shows that between you and your coach and staff, whether you think he's the coach or not or whatever, you created a tactical plan to navigate those 2-legged ties, finals, whatever. But then also a league season, which for me is the true test of a manager, because you have to be consistent over 38 games. He beat Valverde to a title?
I think that might have been. I think
that
Enrique.
Oh, sorry, Enrique. Sorry, I meant Enrique.
I
meant Enrique.
Yeah.
Beat Enrique to a title, who for me would have been a great option if he wasn't managing Spain. So it's not like he was in, say, at Bayern Munich, where it's a one-team league, and the only place you can test yourself really is
no. He had to compete against a top of Barca side.
He took over a team that failed under Benitez, came back and took over a team that were failing under Lopetegui.
Yeah.
So if the team is the reason why they won, well, why was Benitez failing? Why was Lopetegui failing?
No, for me, that whole thing of like, because Benitez had the same exact team, he lost the dressing room. Zidane came halfway through the season and won the Champions League.
Just like what Tuchel done with Chelsea,
Yeah.
but Tuchel is now being lauded as, look, this is what Man United need, that kind of manager, that kind of impact. Well, Zidane did that.
Yeah.
Zidane did exactly that, and the next season won the League and Champions League double. So it's like
no. I think for me, people for some reason, I think because what he did is so extraordinary.
yeah, it's like it must be a fluke.
It must be a fluke.
Yeah.
Don't you think it must be? Because they say, wait, how can a guy be this good at football and this good at management? Short space of time? Like something doesn't add up. You know what? It's white magic. It's white magic. Is it fluke?